I always had good timing. You know, I've never been able to stand your presence to the extent that I almost retracted my invitation tonight. Truthfully, I'm certainly glad I didn't.
What the hell is this? Is this some sort of prank?
I've always had a deep fascination with mystery suspense type films, especially Hitchcock, and I wanted to do something that evoked that same type of feeling, where there are so many twists and turns that the audience doesn't necessarily know what's going to happen next. I especially gained a lot of inspiration from Sleuth as well as The Prestige, and wanted to do something that was very dialogue heavy. So I studied the dialogue and banter between Sherlock Holmes and Professor James Moriarty that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle had written in The Final Problem.
You know damn well why I've been reduced to this. Be very wary of the path you're embarking on, Orson. You're likely to be trodden underfoot.
This is my umpteenth collaboration with Kit Paulson. Originally I was going to direct this solo, but when it comes down to it, I really had to rely on him heavily, because when you're acting in front of the camera, it's very hard to manage everything that's going on around you. And I'm especially grateful to Kit for all the work that he's done.
Say, that is rich. Yes, a finely crafted eagle adorns the head of it. A far cry from the cheap wooden canes you're accustomed to.
Mark Klooster is the only person I had in mind to play Bertolt. Previously, we'd collaborated together on Batman Gag Order, where he played the Riddler.
I'm surprised no one thought of it before. No, retract that statement. I'm just surprised I never thought of it before. Where do you find a computer powerful enough and quick enough to hack into the Bat's digital information system?
And the biggest complaint I had about Batman Gag Order was that there wasn't enough of Batman Riddler going on. And so I was very anxious to get Mark back and to give him a much larger role. And it's always a pleasure working with him. He's a very professional actor.
I'm still not quite sure that they're going to reach a diplomatic solution about unnecessary top hats. Top hats are never unnecessary.
Part of the challenges of the film was to create the one-upsmanship between the two characters, because the stakes are so high. It's a matter of life and death, but at the same time you really want to be clever with all of the scenarios that they throw at each other. It shouldn't just be a simple matter of I have a gun drawn and you have a gun drawn. It had to be very elaborate. So I took certain theater exercises and scenarios from plays and turned them into death traps.
We're going to be reenacting Act 3, Scene 4. You'll be playing Polonius. I'll be Hamlet.
The title is actually based off of Bertolt Brecht's dramatic theory, wherein the audience necessarily doesn't relate to the characters. They see the actor past it, and they look more towards the situation that character is thrown in. Part of that was used to make it so that you aren't necessarily rooting for just one of the characters. It's very much back and forth of, well, you can pick a side, but which one is in the right, which one is in the wrong. A lot of the script came out of my own natural experiences with directors and casting directors. And I really wanted to try and elevate it to a level where it becomes this death-defying game.
You had no connection to the stories that were being told. You were more interested in cabotinage and playing for the audience. You were performing, not acting.
We did a few hours of rehearsal beforehand because I literally sent Mark the script. Well, not just Mark, the entire cast and crew, which there were 4 of us total. I sent everyone the script a week before we were to start shooting, and that was a lot of dialogue to learn. So Mark and I did a few rehearsals beforehand to try and make sure that we could get this shot in as few takes as possible.
Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history. is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. How's that for the denouement?
Once again, we filmed this at Chamberlain Mansion in Des Moines, which some of you may recall was where we shot Steampunks. And even though it's the exact same setting and we use a lot of the same rooms, the mansion has such a distinct atmosphere that made it feel different than last time. It feels a lot more ominous and very contributes to that feeling of suspense and not knowing what's going to happen next.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, I'm Stephen Haydon for the Iowa Zoetrope, and be sure to check out Verfremdungseffekt, coming soon.